What's up, wenches, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome to the most chaotic theory corner on the Grand Line-ternet. We're back at Port Predictions because, well, I mean, what's the end of the year without a little bit of a saucy little prediction corner?
End of the year sauce.
End of the year sauce.
You've heard of Sunday gravy. Now, enjoy end of the year sauce.
What the hell is Sunday gravy? I only know Friday fish fries.
Shout out to all of the Italians out there.
Hello.
There you go. Hello, it's
Hey, that's me.
Italians.
So let's introduce everybody, and we'll get on into this. Let's start with the internet's gentleman, Mark B. Donica.
Yo ho 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 ho! It's me. I'm the Bonesman. I'm here.
Santa?
That's him,
Jack
officer.
Skellington?
That's the dude.
I gotta go.
Of course, everybody's favorite giggle robot, the Laughborg, Al McClellan Jr.
Gigglebot.
Gigglebot, Giggleborg. I go by many names.
And we cannot take off and we cannot start our theorying without our lovely captain, Molly D. Simpy.
When you said giggles, I'm like, oh, she's putting me in the middle this time. Like, oh, it's Al. Okay.
His whole bit is being a laugh person. Also, everyone forgive.
I don't own Giggles.
You do.
Giggles
Legally.
Incorporated.
Giggles Incorporated.
Trademark that quick.
So there's two things that I would like to address before we get too far into it. Is one, everybody send Al some get wells because Al's voice is not great. We've given him a little bit of time to recover, so he is on the mend. But everybody send some love to Al. You're hearing this literally a day after we record this, like 12 hours.
The cards.
They already know if they're in the Discord. If you're in the Discord,
this is
then
going
you know.
to live beyond tomorrow.
Why?
Yes,
My voice
but-
sounds normal again.
Oh God, it's so.
Why do we own curtains if Kane always pulls them down? Why do we
pulling
own
them
these?
down because we're selling them right now. End of the year sale. Buy our curtains.
can we
And the
Gently
other thing
used.
is, I'd like to re-welcome one of the original Chrono Pirates. Our little recording bot intern, Craig, is back.
I'm glad I have a stiff drink for this episode. The man I fired is back to haunt me. This is a true Christmas
You should
story.
be able to drink it.
Craig was our original recording service that we were using. We ended up moving away from Craig, but now those services have decided to screw the pooch.
Allegedly.
Screw the pooch entirely. So our beloved intern, Craig, is back. It's nice to see my son back in action. It's been such a long time.
We peeled
Allegedly.
back the curtains. We peeled back the curtains to reveal the paywall.
Allegedly,
Beans.
Craig
Yeah,
as a service is better now, but the amount of times, like 2 years ago, he burned us on just dropping records.
Hey, new devs,
Made bad coffee.
new everything, and that's why we have Audacity recording at the same time.
Stab me once, shame on you. Stab me twice, shame on me.
Yeah,
But
don't get
this
stabbed
is-
by your interns.
Don't. You're a bad boss if you're getting stabbed by your interns.
That's fair.
You might deserve it. Speaking of potential bad bosses, I want to jump into this episode of Port Predictions with the only loose thread that really feels like a major loose thread to me. And I don't really have much in the way of what could possibly be, other than it better happen soon because apparently we're on the last arc of things and it's only going to be 5 more years and blah 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 blah.
We'll make a quick statement. Kdin has not read any more One Piece since the last chapter update she gave you, just so you guys know.
Yes, I stopped for the year after our last recording. So where we last stopped is where we last stopped.
And that also goes for anybody listening. If you have not gone past Wano or Film Red, I would say turn around or come back later.
Well, I mean, there's nothing I'm going to say is possibly correct unless I'm right. And in that case,
let me go get them. Let me go get them. I told them to turn around. They probably can't
Hang
hear
on.
them.
No,
Let's take a
don't-
look at
full
the.
credit.
No, we
please.
need you here. We need you here. Please come back. Come back.
Let's
come
look
back.
at the red
you.
tape wall of things Kdin was right about, and
Usopp sucking farts was definitely one of them. Definitely happened.
give a PSA of, I guess, listen at your own risk because she could be right. We don't know. I have no idea what she's going to tell us today.
Predictions.
So
no idea.
So the thing that I really want to kind of like put a pin on and like really add it to the board as like the focus of it is
Port prediction pin.
yeah, we're putting you see my theory board. There's all sorts of things on there. It's the string is going all sorts of places. I'm gonna put a big piece of paper in front of it with a circle with a question mark in the middle because I don't know who this person really is or what they look like. And this person is Dr. Vegapunk, who one we haven't heard much from or about, I guess, in quite some time. But we did have a lot of it leading up to what was going on, and we had a lot of dealing with the gifters, the pleasures, the smile fruit, and all of that nonsense going on in Wano and leading up to Wano. So I feel like the only logical next step, because we don't really have a heading, so to speak. Well, the heading right now is, well, we better find the One Piece before anybody else does, because the alternative is bad. So I feel like we're in the era of tying up some loose ends before we start doing anything else. And one of the biggest things that is a loose end is the smile fruit, the production of these artificial devil fruits, and Dr. Vegapunk at the center of all of that, who I don't know who it is, but who knows? It could be another spicy, saucy old man from Ollie. Maybe Oda says, here, have another.
Do you think Oda will remember to draw Dr. Vegapunk hot? Time will tell.
Time will tell. It depends on how Oda wants to go about things. It could go any which way but loose. So
Or extra loose.
I appreciate, once again, shout out to Al for always being there when everybody makes a joke. Al's always there.
I'm glad Al got that one because I don't know if I could
Thanks.
understand that one. Went right over my head.
Al,
Catch it.
But
All
Dr.
right.
Vegapunk, so like Dr. Vegapunk stuff has been affecting pretty much everybody at the very least since we got to the New World stuff. Since we've done our time skip, it's been pretty frickin' prominent. We also still have the what is it? The Caesar Clown still hasn't kind of ended like his purpose, I guess.
His
Like,
special purpose.
It's just what there's still like threads tying him to the plot. And I feel like we have to get some resolution on this, and probably soon, because if anything, Oda has to start ramping things up. And this has been a plot thread for what, 10 years? How long has this been around? How long? You guys know time better than I do.
How long
like-
has Vegapunk been around?
Like the mentioning of like the artificial devil fruit, the smile fruit, Caesar
Well,
Clown,
that's been
Vegapunk,
since
like
Punk
All of that-
Hazard.
Yeah, all
Right.
of that's pre-time skip, but
No, Punk
Vegapunk
Hazard's-
has...
Punk
Well,
Hazard's not time skip.
Yeah, Vegapunk was pre-time skip.
Okay,
yeah, but
that's
the
true.
Smile Fruit stuff, all of that plot line is time skip only.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
2008
looking
till
up-
now.
2012 is when Punk Hazard started. So
So
almost 10 years.
11 years. 2012, it's the
that-
end of 2023.
I don't know
11
what
years.
you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
So the
doesn't
better
sound
part of
right.
11 years of buildup. I mean, it took us that long to get to Wano, right? If anything, this is the other biggest thread to pull on. And I feel like I'm
Oh my
like
God.
I'm sorry, the passage of time will get us all.
So
But
really quickly, since you
Yeah.
mentioned Caesar Clown, This is also something that we're going to talk about in our Q&A episode, which you can listen if you're listening to this episode as it comes out, is coming out next. But if you're listening to this not in the middle of December 2023, there is a cover story that features what Caesar Clown is up to after Whole Cake.
He keeps trying to text me, and I just keep ignoring him.
But yeah, one of our questions that we will talk about is what if we cover more of the cover stories and talk about those. And so,
Molly, once you started texting live action One Piece Buggy, Caesar Clown's just like, oh, she's on the Clown Core now. I'm here.
I did not text that man. Everybody on Tumblr has, and I have respected his privacy. I have been, on the other hand, texting live action Garp and Zeph like crazy, and they will not pick up. But I also don't know if they understand what texting is.
oh, come on.
What?
Garp would never understand. Here's my prediction. Garp would never understand nor like texting.
Responds with only emojis.
He would text Sengoku and be like, come over. With like a senbei emote.
This dude sends carrier pigeons. This dude writes handwritten letters to whom it may concern.
Semaphore.
He would also be the one in like a Marine group chat, and they would be like, you know, like they took the Pentagon, and then Garp would be like rip LOL, like in the group chat.
I'll miss it.
He joins the Slack group, and he's like, "How do I do those? How do I make the smiley face under the words that you have there? I want to know how to make smiley faces as a reply."
Kids don't know how to do semicolons anymore.
Back in my day, we crafted our smiley face emojis by hand.
Bespoke smileys.
Anyway, my prediction is that Garp gets a cell phone and learns how to emote.
That said, you're right though. If Garp learned how to do like the iOS reaction things, anytime somebody gave him bad news, he'd throw confetti. That's exactly what he'd do. It's like confetti.
Also immediately thought of the iPhone feature where you can make your own, like you click like an emote and it records what your face is doing and then sends you a video. Imagine Garp as like a monkey.
Have you seen the grandpa who actually does that? There was a grandchild who gets messages from their grandfather that is exclusively with those, and it's just cute. A wall of it. It's very cute. Garp would do that. I take it back.
Never.
Garp would do that.
I love Garp. He's not like that. I love Garp, but he's not. I'm not going to give this man.
But the dog hat. He likes the dog hat. He'll have the dog emoji
That just means he's a furry.
I mean, that's also just that man's wearing a hat. I don't think there's any other thought put behind that. Other than
we talk about Garp a lot.
Yeah, on purpose.
We could talk more.
On dolphins?
We could talk more about Garp? Okay. I think that here this is a lowball prediction. This is just a
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. I want to give Kdin an idea. Kdin.
Okay, hello.
What?
All right, my theory is Oda is going to remember to draw young Garp. What do you think? Does it feel real? Do you like that?
It feels the young Garp is real, Molly. Yes. The young Garp is real. I think we need actually in that regard, I still think that we need to go and have this is less of a prediction and more of a thought on what I think we'll see as we get closer to the next arcs of One Piece that like I'm right there. I'm almost caught up. I'm almost at the part where it's just like, oh, I'm all caught up, and I'm week by week with everybody else now.
And you can be sad like us.
I think one of the most important things is we still need to learn about. We still need to learn about those years that we don't know what happened, and we also still need to learn more about the Rock Pirates and the Void Century and the Rock Pirates. And
that guy has a D in his name. What does that mean?
We still need to learn about that D. How big is it? Is it a capital or is it not a capital?
Theory.
But I think that a lot of this is going to end up coming from our almost Marines, I guess I'd call them now. Like Sengoku is kind of like, I'm out of this too. You guys deal with your nonsense. Garp is like, I'm here, I guess. And it's going to be interesting to see how they play into these upcoming, like, as we lead up to quote unquote the end of it, how they play into this. And I feel like there's going to finally be all right, time to level with you guys. Here's what happened, or at least here's what I saw. And then lore. Like, we're finally getting to the lore. And
he gets the record scratch. I bet you guys are wondering how I got here.
In this sticky situation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we need. We need young Garp drawn like that. It's like the record scratch pose. Like, I bet you're wondering how I got here.
And then she's the opening to Young Sheldon, but it's Young Garp.
No. No.
Wano I don't even know. Themed after a kabuki play. The final saga is themed after Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon.
Oh God. That's Molly's prediction. I'm not subscribing to that. That's not me.
Something you brought up wanted me to ask the question. You've talked before about how you think we're due for a second round of backstories for everybody to explain a little bit more. But I wanted to ask...
No, that was my theory. My theory.
I wanted to ask, other than the Straw Hat crew, is there a One Piece character, since we've already mentioned Garp, not Garp either, that you want to get either a first or another backstory on?
That I want, or that I think we'll get?
That you want.
That I want?
Because it seems like if somebody is important to the main thread, that they're gonna get a backstory, or we're gonna get something from them.
I'm gonna make everybody like scream and go wild and absolutely lose their bananas.
Try me.
Because everybody's really like, she's subscribing to the theory that everybody says.
Croco Mom.
I'm not subscribed to that theory. I don't think Croco Mom is the answer. Specifically because Oda says Luffy's mom doesn't matter. So
yeah, Crocodile doesn't matter.
Got him.
But I do think Crocodile matters. He knows more than he lets on. So I'd like to know more about Crocodile. And in that same vein, I'd like to know more about, and this is why I said everybody was going to be just like, she's subscribing to theory. Dragon. Because we know nothing about this dude. We don't know bunk about...
This guy sucks.
It's the leader of the Revolutionary Army. There are 3 factions: Pirates, Revolutionaries, and the Marines. We know nothing, really nothing about these revolutionaries.
What if, entertain me for a moment, what if Dragon Ball Z was about everybody else but Goku, and you only saw Goku like 3 or 4 times?
That'd be pretty... I mean, honestly, Goku becomes the villain after a while.
That was the whole point of it, and then they told him not to do that, and because he wanted to make Gohan the primary protagonist, and they said, Gohan sucks. Bring Goku back from the dead. We're your publishers. And he's like, all right, I guess. Even though he didn't want to.
I think Dragon is going to be a 2-minute warning backstory. That's what I think. I think we're not going to learn anything about Dragon until, like, we have to.
Like I said, the ones I want to learn, I'd like to learn, like, selfishly, I'd like to learn more about Crocodile. Selfishly, I'd like to learn more about Crocodile.
Selfish.
That is my selfish wish.
I don't want to see him ever again.
You know, okay.
That's not happening.
There's more though. We did have a loose thread, so I'll throw this one in there. I'd like to know more about Kuma's backstory, because that is definitely...
they're keeping that one wrapped up tight.
So, he likes ice cream. Spoilers. He likes sherbet.
He's more like a sorbet guy.
Like a cozy little bear hibernating for the winter, wrapped up tight.
Wait, is Kuma the Sleepy Time Tea Bear?
Is he the Sleepy Time Tea Bear?
Okay, wait,
maybe.
merch idea? Chat, look away. Merch idea, real quick.
I mean, you better get on this because this is coming out tomorrow. So
Chat, look away.
God, all right. Opening up Procreate. This is silly.
Tying into the best swordsman in the world stuff, I think we need to have some Mihawk return. So maybe more Mihawk. Mm-hmm. I'm feeding Molly. I gave Molly Mihawk.
Why? I don't want him.
You do.
I'll trade you
Back.
for a Garp. I'll trade you
No,
for a Garp.
Garp is for everyone, Molly. You can't Bogart the Garp. You can't Bogart him.
I'll trade for a Whitebeard. Anybody got a Whitebeard?
Got a
No,
holographic
let me
white
check.
beard.
Let me get my
I got
binder.
bad
You?
news.
Al, what do you want for it?
I got bad news for you, Molly.
I want my father back.
I can't do that, Al.
You know who else? Not like wanting backstory, because I feel like we got enough backstory for this particular character. But you know who I want back? Big Mood. I want Boa Hancock back.
Yeah, it's
been a
I want
minute.
Boa Hancock back.
I wonder what
Yeah.
she's up to.
In regards to big moods, also Shaki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want more Shaggy lore. She's
Can we-
interesting.
Shaggy
Please
and
talk to the most
Rayleigh need to
interesting
come
woman in
back
the show.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaggy and Rayleigh definitely need to come back at some point, because Rayleigh literally was just like, hey, you want to know where the One Piece is, what it's about, how to get to it, and all this stuff? And everybody's like, no, except for Usopp, and Usopp got outvoted. But like,
Well, Luffy was like, take it back or I'll end you.
I
Hey.
will literally kill you.
Sorry, yes.
stop it.
Luffy said, Usopp, take it back, and his fist was clenched.
It's true. It's true.
Well,
But yeah,
also-
go ahead.
We're also missing all of the like time, not all of, but some of the time skip like backstory. So there's a gap there too in terms of like what everybody was up to. Like we have
really
sentences,
only saw
but
like
not-
we saw a couple of hours of 2 years.
That's true.
I would love for him to like get into that. Like, if he's like, there's no time for it. Even if it's just like a cover story of like what everybody was up to, I'd love that.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
cover stories are important.
They are to me personally,
I have a theory in
and
regards to
nobody
cover
else.
story.
Uh-oh. Let's hear it.
Does Enel come back from the moon? I don't know.
God,
Maybe.
I'm so bad. Like,
Not if I
like,
can prevent it.
I've said it a couple times. The final battle roll up is gonna take months of like every single character coming in, and then at the last second, a spaceship is gonna come down from the moon, and Enel's gonna be there with little tiny moon people, and everyone's gonna,
Window
gonna be
roll
like,
down, looking out. What?
and what the hell is up with that guy? Like, it's gonna be so good.
I feel like it's just gonna go full end game where it's like straw hats assemble, and then like from the sky we're losing, and then Anel just shows up and he's like, what's going on? And then he's like, cool, the one guy we could use to like destroy this, great, let's do it.
You remember some of the spreads in Wano of like just the entire crowd reacting individually?
Yeah, it took him like 80 pages.
Of like 2 pages of everybody looking at the same thing. Like,
My God.
It's gonna be so good, and
I'm
like
so
the anime's
excited.
gonna take forever.
That's just going to be one chapter. One whole chapter is just going to be reaction images to one thing that's going to happen.
It's gonna be
wow.
boat on one side, reactions on the other, flip, another double spread, ship, reactions, another double spread, ship, reactions. It's gonna be great.
I think we'll probably end up following Teach around probably a little bit too.
That guy sucks though.
We need
I don't
we need to establish one, how big his crew is at this point,
Ayo.
and
fair.
two, more importantly, how strong he's become since
think
we
we'll get
last truly saw him, and we'll
or like
probably
how
only
lame.
see like there's definitely got to be like some teases to it. Like
Sure.
what we'll see, we probably won't see directly what he's capable of, but we will see what the people who listen to him.
Yeah, I imagine we'd see some crew power up check-ins, but Teach is going to be another like fourth quarter. You haven't even seen my final form yet.
But that's
until, like,
and that's the point. The point is going to
Perfect
be
Teach.
like you're going to see how literally dangerous his crew is. It's like, oh, and these guys are like the lead up. Like these are the people you have
The
to beat to
mini-bosses,
get to
yeah.
that do. It's like, oh god.
I'm going to predict it now. Final form Teach has even less teeth.
He's just gonna throw. He's just gonna throw teeth at people.
It's just gonna be gummy.
Ugh. Instead of gummo gummo go, no, it's no gums.
Thank
What
goodness
if
I made
I-
pies my personality.
Just
What if
no.
I-
Ew.
What if I email Oda and ask very nicely, no, can you teach?
You can give him a try.
Do you think you think he'll listen?
He met that nice little Luffy boy from the Netflix show. I mean, he seems to be a little bit more open.
I don't know how to respond to that.
here's an interesting thought. And tell me if I'm way off now. But we saw the fact that they kept Luffy's devil fruit kind of less like under lock and keys. I was like, well, let's not tell anybody what it actually is. How many devil fruits do you think are out there that they're just like, we just don't want people to know what that actually does?
Hey, can I transition that into what my theory is?
Okay.
Yep.
Hey,
Do it.
so the reason my thought is the reason why they were keeping especially Luffy's devil fruit a secret is because Nika is the source of all of the devil fruits, because I've figured out what the D stands for. Because they were saying it so much this ramping up to the end.
Oh, I know what you're thinking.
It's Dawn.
I don't know what.
DAWN, Dawn.
I heard you say
Could
Dawn.
also
I was like,
be
what?
DON. They said that a lot too.
DONG, dong fruit.
The Dong Dong no
sound of
me.
the drum, the Don thing.
Oh yeah, don
Dawn-
dotata, don dotata.
Yes.
So, Kdin, the last port predictions, my thinking of and this will be a quick aside. I had mentioned that Bing Sake is more important than it lets on. I still think that. The other half of that prediction that I didn't mention was that I thought when the anime was going to play, we were going to hear the drums. It was going to be the similar drum line that we hear from Bing Sake.
Yeah.
Because the onomatopoeia of it in the comic is a don dot, which is a similar. Yeah. Anyway, I thought a little bit too much about that. I still think Bing Sake is super important and is probably a way to connect that. Blah blah blah. But I think the D is dawn. So they're children of the dawn, and from Nika and all of this unimaginable power and him being able to do all of these different moves that we associate with different characters with different devil fruits, or dawn fruits, whatever you want to call them. TM, don't steal. But
TM, don't steal.
seeing all of that through Luffy makes me think that the original Nika, or wherever Nika came from, all of everything that's come before could have been Nika's dream of sharing all of that freedom with the world, which got disseminated into the devil fruits. And like any government, the government decided to take something intended for liberation and freedom and appropriate it as a tool of oppression.
What?
What? Yeah, I've been sitting on that for a couple of months.
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? But yeah, that's just a theory, a game theory.
I like that.
Stop it. Don't
Matt Pat, give me money.
don't do that ever again.
What else we got?
Let's see. Does anybody else have anything? Like, I feel like those are my big things. It's like, I feel like Vegapunk is around the corner. Like, it has to be. Like, the whole Vegapunk nonsense has to be just around the corner. If not the thing we're coming up to, the thing after that.
I googled it earlier, Kdin. Vegapunk is first mentioned in chapter 433 by name, but is apparently hinted at during Alabasta.
Dun, dun.
Of course he is.
So that's a very long time.
Ugh.
There is one more thing.
Go on.
There is one more thing, and I think it was I think it was Charlotte who brought it up.
Charlotte.
I can't do it again. I just got clean.
I'm not going back to jail.
Go back to jail.
I think it was Big Mom who talked about it specifically. But King and his whole bull shenanigans. Like, this dude is from somewhere and is something that doesn't exist, and it's important. And then that's the end of the sentence.
That brings it back to the moon. Like, this is... so Lunarians are from the Red Line, but lunar is in their name, which then corresponds to like Nika and jumping in front of the moon. Like there is so much that and we know nothing. Like I was like, as you were starting to talk about Big Mom, I was like, hey, we got introduced to something that we never heard more. There's so much of little things that Oda's like, all right, we're going to put a pin in that and we'll see you in 6 years. So
I've noticed that.
Have no idea, like, what are there more Lunarians? Are we going to meet more Lunarians? Like, are we going to see original Lunarians from the moon? It's a wizard from the moon. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Moon's
okay.
haunted.
So here's a question. Were all the Lunarians as powerful as King? Or like, is there an innate like strength that exists inside the Lunarians that like, why are there so little of them? If they were so strong, how could that possibly have happened? And then I just go, hello, the government.
Well, I mean, like, they were experimenting on King.
Right,
So,
obviously.
Like, and as far as we know, he is the last Lunarian.
They're gonna make baby kings. They're gonna replicate.
We all stand a tiny king. Like,
Control C, Control V. They need a bunch of these things to fight a war against the pirates. Control C, Control
K
V.
for king.
Only if they're gonna. Oh God. Only if they're gonna, like, we've seen that they make robots out of people because of Kuma.
It's true.
Are there more lines of more robots?
The robots are made out of people.
What?
My God.
I mean, they're duplicating devil fruit, sort of.
I mean,
they're duplicating people, sort of.
I mean,
why would they not
Germa
duplicate?
has clones.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna like gesture to. It's that like I feel like it's the same idea that 3 different scientists went off to be like, I'll do it better than you. And that's Vegapunk, maybe, and also Sanji's blood dad, and then
Judge
Caesar.
and Caesar. Well, they all used to be bros, right?
But yeah, like
I mean, I think
Caesar-
they used to all work together. I think.
Yeah,
I don't
they
think they were
probably
associates.
just like, hey, the world government is calling us in to do a thing. Let's all just like, well, I didn't do my homework. Can I copy off yours? Sure, but like I'm gonna copy off of some of the homework that you did last time. And they all just like stole each other's things and came together.
Queen
And
too.
Yeah, Queen is who I was thinking.
Yeah, but
of.
who
Thank
cares?
you.
No, but like Molly, you nailed that thing of like, oh yeah, they were all friends. No. Co-workers.
Yeah, let me be real about this. No,
The truth is, yeah.
co-workers. They were all co-workers, and they all wanted Vegapunk senpai to look at them.
They all like worked together, and the world government says it's like a family, and they all said no.
Yep. Vegapunk has been called a geezer since forever, so maybe they were all after his job.
It's true. I mean, like, eventually some of these old f***s gotta die, right? By the way, that's 2 for me. I'm sorry.
They all gasp. They all wanted a papa.
And like, so they're looking at Vegapunk.
like
They're just
Kuma,
like,
a paw.
this guy's gotta. That's really funny. This guy's gotta go eventually. I gotta be on the up and up. So they're probably like copying his work, right? Also, do we know if Vegapunk is a guy or not? I'm gonna
we
go.
don't.
I'm defaulting to
idea.
they now.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
gonna
do
default.
believe-
to
They've not
they.
been gendered.
I do believe that like I wondered that not that long ago, and I went looking for it, and I do believe that they, in terms of referring to Vegapunk, they use they them.
Keeping it
to not have been Dr. Vegapunk refusing to be gendered. Most of us refuse this.
He says, they say I don't want to be perceived, and they said bet.
What's your gender, Doctor?
Vegapunk said, "Don't perceive me" for over 1,000 chapters.
That was a part of their agreement with the government. It's like, don't like, you can talk about me, but don't look at me.
Put me well behind the paywall, please.
Vegapunk just going up and be like, "Hello, everyone." It's like, and what are your pronouns, Doctor? Doctor. But what's in your pants? Scalpel.
Knife. Bone
It's
saw.
a knife. No.
People ask Oda the question where it's like they get in a car accident and they go to the hospital, and then the doctor says something, and who is the woman in this circumstance? And Oda's like, no, they're all non-binary, and it's like, damn it. How did he
Got
know?
us again.
Got us.
Got
Nice
us.
swag. I don't know if Vegapunk's evil. That's my final note on that. Is I don't know if Vegapunk is evil, because we've seen a lot of these old people who've been like dragged along with the government. And they're just like, actually, I'm kind of tired about
But like
this.
going
Can we not?
along with their former co-workers turned out pretty evil. So
Yeah, most of them
can I-
are bad news.
Can
Bad
I
record
say?
so far.
Can I let me put my 2 cents here, because I think it's relevant, because I think this conversation with all of these characters, this like the Vegapunk squad of people we've met who have been like, ugh, don't talk to me about that guy or that person. Like, just because I just saw, I mean, I think most of us saw Oppenheimer this year. I feel like it's very in the same vein, where it's like, sometimes science is relative, and then when you create something, it's not good or bad, but someone uses it for good or bad, and then it becomes good or bad. Like, creating something doesn't inherently make it evil or good. It's in the way that you use it. And I feel like with a guy who's constantly on the verge of something new, I don't think that they could be inherently bad, but I do feel like they are funded by the government
Yeah.
who does inherently bad things, and,
Molly,
and thus, you know what I
I'm
mean?
going to slide this across the table in your general direction.
Okay.
Did you ever watch The Legend of Korra?
Yeah.
Do you remember Varric?
What season is that?
All like 2 and onward.
Varric's the do the
Yes.
thing guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do the thing,
Julie,
Julie.
do
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Julie,
Yes.
do the thing. Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
I think Vegapunk is probably more akin to Varric, where it's just like the pursuit of science, etc., etc., etc. But when like the hand is forced upon him, season 4 for Korra, it's just like, hey, I accidentally created a giant death cannon, supposedly. And he's told, we'll make the giant death cannon. He said, no, I'm not going to make the giant death cannon. And maybe the whole point is not that Vegapunk works for the government, but worked for the government. And now everybody's like, well, we got to figure out what he's doing. He did it. And that's why we're stealing his old homework. So maybe he's not, maybe Vegapunk not that bad. Maybe they're more, there's more to it than that. Maybe they're Varric core.
In that
There's-
same vein, there's got to be a point where morally you will object to accepting the government's paycheck. It's like, you know what? I'm done. Like, who knows where that is for any character, let alone Vegapunk.
That's true.
I don't know. I
That's
think
true.
it's a line of dialogue that I like debating on in terms of like characters, because it's like, obviously we've seen the evil parts of science that have come out of this. Like, literally everybody who has said that like Vegapunk is their mentor, they worked for Vegapunk, now is like they didn't use their basically they like were kind of like backseat bossing them and being like, well, if I was in charge here, I would do something different, and it would be better, and I would be cooler and smarter and get more money. And they literally all did that, and then they left the door open, and Luffy came in, and like a bull in a china shop, just messed up everything. But I feel like until we meet Vegapunk, it's like because it's like also all that we've seen of him before. Like, we've seen Frankie on the island that they grew up on, I believe. That's where he,
or at least
that's
one of
where
the
Frankie
research
went.
places.
Yeah, that's where Frankie was during the time skip.
You got a souped up radical beam.
And I think it's in the same way of like why Frankie relates to Vegapunk so much is that like Frankie's origins were creating weapons and then realizing at some point that those weapons could be used for evil or harm. And it's like that whole building was full of ideas from Vegapunk, but like they weren't harmful until Frankie put them into action, if that makes any sense. So I think it's all relative, right? I think it's in what, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to judge you just because we ask why and they're asking why not. You know what I mean?
It's also bringing up Frankie. It'd be really funny for there to be a don't meet your heroes moment for Frankie when they meet or don't meet whoever.
The thing is that we already did that with Chopper.
Yeah, that's true.
And I can't do that again. Just like give us one person in power.
Oh, I don't want them to be a creep like Hogback.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be heartbreaking.
Exactly.
You know what?
I'm like, we've already done that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. I'm gonna put my foot down and I'm gonna plant my flag in this camp and this is where I'm going to firmly be. Until I see further evidence, I'm going to say that Dr. Vegapunk is actually good. And that's where I'm going to plant my flag. Actually good, Dr. Vegapunk. Flag planted.
No Hogback part 2, please.
No hog back there and back again, okay? We're just
I can't do it again. All right, I'm not going back to jail.
Hog and back again?
I'm not going back to
hog
jail.
there and back again, yes. Can you tell that I'm making jokes relevant to the things that I've been watching lately?
Yes, you brought up Korra, and I knew exactly what season. Like, I knew exactly what you and Sam have been watching.
Yeah, we finished, by the way.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It holds up. But yeah, I think that's the breadth of my theorizing for now, unless we have anything from the rest of the crew that they'd like to throw there. Any accidentally dropping whole cakes on my lap, Al, or
No, he wouldn't make
No, we ate it all already.
It's too many layers.
Yeah, we already cracked all of those eggs on his head, so making that whole cake.
Eyes up front.
Milking?
Pulls down projection screen behind me, hits a button. PowerPoint says the theory of Will Garp draw young Garpot.
Will Garp draw young Garpot?
Will Garp draw. Can Garp draw. And then from there it branches out.
If yes, can draw hot.
Yes, maybe, definitely.
There's the Garpaverse and then the Ken Garp Drawaverse.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like we've seen how Luffy draws.
Oh, Garp's got to draw exactly the same way.
Yeah.
I have to, yeah, definitely.
Instead
Most assuredly.
of fish, though, it's like sharks.
It's like something cooler and more edgy.
Everything has a goatee and scars.
Of course.
Or he always falls asleep in the middle of drawing. So you only get like a fin.
It's got to be a man's shark, all right?
This
gotta
is a
have
man shark.
I immediately want to like go on a tangent and talk about a silly meme I saw this week, but we're recording right now. Not that it's ever stopped me before.
I mean, there are things that we've talked about before that we're still waiting on, like Pluton and all the secret weapons and everything leading up to this stuff. But like, nothing has really developed since we last talked about it. So I'm still thinking about it, I guess, is all I have to say.
Yeah, still on the mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really don't know. Like, there are a couple of things that
Kuma's daughter. We need to deal with that. But
yeah,
that's
we need
all.
to compartmentalize that.
We need to still deal with that.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll have an opportunity for that, but Oda keeps. Oda keeps flipping everything, man. It's wild.
What is Shanks doing?
What? Yeah. What's going on?
When do we get that? When is the here's what Shanks has been up to the entire time arc?
Oh, hey, remember when Oda announced Film Red and everybody went, "Oh, hey, cool, we're gonna get some Shanks backstory," and then
it turned
absolutely did not. And
it
Well,
turned
we-
into an hour and a half long Miku Miku dance video. Yeah,
Well,
I do remember that.
Technically, we did, but it was all retcon stuff, and it was like, Oda, we didn't need this. Thank you, I love Uta. Thank you. That's not what
Thank
we
you.
were. That's not what we were asking for.
Thank you
Wrong.
for putting her in Pirate Warriors 4, but what else you got?
There's 4 of them?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yes.
Okay. I got catching up to do.
And just like that.
Did we ever talk about that? Did we talk about Shanks just being like, haha, you know, it'd be so funny right now? Did we talk about that at all?
I don't think we did.
Did
I
Kane
thought we
get to that
did.
part? Did Kane get to that
that
part?
was at the end of Wano.
It's just like Shanks turning to Ben and being like, yo, Ben, you know what'd be so funny right now?
No, I
That'd be
remember talking
hilarious.
about it because you were like, Ben Beckman's reaction face was so good.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's just like, hey, man, you know what'd be so funny if we just messed around for like 15 years and then now just go get the One Piece.
Actually, Molly, you bring up something that I want to see the story of I want to see the flashback of Shanks taking Buggy back to get medical treatment and like what happened to their friendship. Like I would love to see it.
They stayed on that island, is my understanding, while they left, and then they went and picked them up because that was also
After
the
the
island
fact.
where. Right, but I'm just saying that like the Roger Pirates left them where Buggy had his fever, and they waited for them.
Okay.
And then
I
when
was
they
remembering
came back and picked them up, that's when Shanks. There was like Odin had said. Shanks asked him a question, and he started crying, and like there was no context for like what he asked him.
Yeah. I
There's
wanna know
also
that.
so many loose ends of like conversations that we only see, and he laughed and all that, or he cried, and come on.
Or like Kdin mentioned, Roxy Zebek. Like there are still people's faces that we haven't seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Only
means-
in silhouette.
Yeah, that
What
means that
if-
they are keeping them for a reason.
What if Rox is Luffy's mom?
What?
You ever think about that? And
Yes,
that's why we
actually.
can't see. That's why we can't see their face because
Hold on.
they look like Luffy.
They look like Luffy. Everybody's Luffy. That's the key to the One Piece is looking like Luffy.
Also,
I was gonna see if they gendered rocks, but they totally did.
that would be no. I know. I know it's a he him.
But still, there
Now
are
kind of-
wilder theories out there.
now I'm kind of like, all right, maybe not Luffy's mom, but like, what if it's like Garp's son? What if it's like Dragon's brother? Like, what if there's just
Yeah,
a
I guess we don't
Something
know
Dragon's dad?
if
I don't
Garp
know.
had more kids.
Yeah, we just know of one.
That man gets around. I mean, he's like
I mean, for him to be captain of all of those people who are now like mostly dead. Sorry, Molly. He's got to be like he can't be. He has to be a contemporary or older of Garp.
yeah, like
Yeah, and Garp has sex. I was gonna say
yeah,
the
I
F
mean
word, and
like
I knew Mark would be
Garp's
sad.
definitely
he,
out there.
he had sex so good. His son was born the same age as him.
I
That's right.
I think there is something to what Molly is saying though. Like Garp definitely is kind of the type to like throw his whole grumpussy around and
I love
like
that Kane's like the one theory Kdin is gripping towards is calling Garp
Garp.
a slut. Garp's
Sorry,
a
Mark.
slut. God. Whore.
I think I mean we like there's no like I mean
No, there's the theory. One of the theories ongoing is that brain dragon, even though it's Monkey D. Dragon, it's not. That's not Garp's son. And Luffy's mom is Garp's daughter. So that part of the reason why, like, not just the Revolutionary Army of it
That's not a bad idea because I don't think Dragon
I've talked about it before.
I really like picking up. We did talk about it before, but like picking up on that, like they don't really look alike, but Garp and Luffy do.
Yeah. So then that gets extended to what if Dragon is Rox's son, and part of the defeat of Garp defeating Rox and the Rox Pirates is your daughter, your boyfriend / husband has to change their name. They have to change their name. Or maybe it was a thing where, similar to Ace changing his name to Portgas so that he wouldn't be found out, that after his wife died, Dragon changed his name to like sink back into the crowd a little bit, even though he's the son-in-law of the great military hero. But so that's sort of the line right now. Is
now he plays Dragon Paper Scissors.
Do you think he changed his name to Dragon just to be like, I'm gonna be cool?
So cool.
I think it's possible.
You're like 14-year-old, like choose your name, Dragon. It's like, you know what? Good
writing
choice.
his name on his test with like the cool S but a D.
But also, like, it could 100% be a false name because he's the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and if there's any record of him anywhere on any island, it could get back to him and his extended family. And there might have been something relating to Garp giving him some sort of like military clemency. Like he's not like a Shichibukai where he can get away with anything. But because he's related to Garp, they can't move on certain stuff out of respect for him. I don't know. Like ultimately, we still need to find out a lot about Dragon.
I like the theory. I like that idea that it's Garp's daughter and not Dragon. But I do think that there have been specific times in the manga where literally verbatim it said that Dragon joined the military or the Marines because Garp made him do it. Like, and also I think when he announces Luffy's father, he says my son.
No, he says your dad.
Okay. I'll look into this. I like it.
remember going back to that because I remember him. It's like, oh wait, no, did he say my idiot son or whatever? He said no, your father.
Because I like that theory, but I do believe there's been enough dialogue by now that like there's a reason why we all point to Garp being the father of Dragon. Also, he left his shoe print on his face. Ha-cha-cha.
God, that's my other favorite thing of people lining up the bottom of Garp's shoe with Dragon's scar.
His Converse.
Kicked him with his Tim's so hard.
I like that theory. I've actually read fanfics with that theory, but
have I I am become fanfic destroyer of
she did.
me.
But I do believe that like in the time I've read that it had gotten disproven, but I'll look into it again. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure people in the Discord are going to yell at me that I'm wrong, but I'll double check because I'm curious.
You could be
And I mean,
right though.
also at the same time, we have 3 boys that are quote brothers.
Brothers.
So that's already setting up the fact that people's familial lines from a certain point of view are what they say they are in terms of like found family, but
they can
by
be chosen.
blood. But they can be chosen. Exactly. So who knows? Who flippin' knows?
Yeah. But also I feel like Oda did that on purpose to fool us all.
Oh, absolutely.
It's true.
Because usually when somebody is giving us information for the first time, it needs to be true. And then it's because Luffy is telling us that there's no additional context to it, that we all fell for it.
You do that, though.
Yeah. But
Oda
also,
and red herrings.
But also, you can choose your own family. So good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love y'all.
Yeah.
No.
Group hug.
Whoop hog.
And that's the theories, everybody.
Oh, wait, I said I wouldn't.
Remember how we were about to wrap up and then we talked for another 20 minutes about
shut
That's
up.
how we always do it. That's how
Shut
we
your mouth.
always do it, fam.
Save your voice. We've got one more show to
Okay.
do. Save your voice.
So, you know what? We'll call it here, and we'll see you guys in the next episode, which will be our last episode of the year. We're ramping up for 2024. We're hoping you're as excited as we are for the next stuff that we're working on. But before we go, let's have everybody, put one over on themselves. Let's start with Mark.
Put themselves over.
Put one over on themselves. No, I said what I said.
I'm
gonna
gonna.
You heard me.
I'm gonna
She
do
said
it.
what she said.
Rick.
I'm gonna go under the rope.
Do a flip, Mark. Do a flip. Do a
Do
flip
it.
roll.
I'm not going back to jail. You can find me on social media at Mark B. Donica, wherever Mark B. Donicas are sold. Including Twitch and Instagram and Blue Sky, I guess is the thing
Yeah.
we're talking about now.
We're definitely talking about that now.
And some select Toys R Us locations.
Wow.
Available at all
brand
Walgreens.
Wow. A brand deal.
Let's go to Al.
Hi, everybody. You can find me at Al McClellan Jr. That's ALMCCLELLANDJR. Good luck. Sorry about my voice.
GR.
You can
it's
find
beautiful. You sound
me
beautiful.
at Kdin Jensen pretty much everywhere, especially on Blue Sky. Come follow me on Blue Sky. And of course on Twitch. Still Kdin Jensen on there. Molly, our captain. How about you round us out?
You can, find me on freaking Blue Sky, and you can find me at Molly Flood, and you can find me on Blue Sky. I don't know why this is tripping me up so bad. You can find me on Tumblr at Molly Flood, Molly K Flood. On Tumblr, depending on what you're looking for, or memes. And we have Your Tuck Show Tumblr. Follow us on there. And I have a crochet Instagram account if anybody wants to see what I've been doing in my unemployment. So you can also follow me there on Instagram at Fled Crochet.
Crocheting a life-size ace body pillow.
Dude, maybe next year.
Ooh. And of course, you can follow us on the Tumblrs, on the Blue Sky, and on the Twitch, especially for streams and so on and so forth. That's Yayo Talk Show. You just listened to the whole podcast. And if this was your first episode, don't know why you chose this one, but we appreciate you anyway. How do we usually do this? Oh, that's right. So now that you've listened to the podcast and listened to the episode, then let me get caught up in One Piece, because
Leave her alone.
I'm almost there.
Leave her alone.
Everybody.
Leave her be.
Happy New Year.